Okay, Sefirat Omer, this is Netzach of Tiferet. So Netzach is generally understood to represent victory, but pairing it with Tiferet today, we will redefine Netzach as Nitzchiut, the Hebrew term for that which is eternal. So we know that Tiferet is beauty in its truest form, something that lasts forever. It doesn't have to be physical, it can be emotional or spiritual. So in whatever it is, it remains for eternity because real beauty never fades away. So how does Netzach fit into this picture? When we think of something both beautiful and eternally spiritual, we are led to one thing. Ma'asim tovim. Doing a good deed is one of the most beautiful things someone could do in this world. Whether volunteering, helping a friend in need, or simply holding a door for someone, a good deed is eternal. An act of kindness in Hebrew is called ma'aseh tov, acts of goodness, which can also be translated as yafeh, or beauty. We can see how beauty and goodness are interconnected. It is important to realize that our actions have consequences, that we should strive to do more positive and fewer negative ones. So according to Pirkei Avot, mitzvah goreret mitzvah. So doing a mitzvah will lead to another, doing a good deed, doing a mitzvah will lead to another good deed or another mitzvah. On the contrary, avera goreret avera. So doing a sinful act will lead to committing more sins. This is actually an extremely important principle, and it has to do with momentum and energy. So if you perform one good deed, you're going to have the opportunity to perform another one and another one. And that's what you want to keep the momentum up with. And if you do a sin, you just keep getting dragged down that road. But the secret of teshuvah is to literally break that cycle. So as soon as you do a good deed, you'll have the opportunity to do another good deed. And this is where people think that they're being rewarded in this life for giving charity, is because they see a financial benefit that comes back into their life. But in reality, it's just the opportunity to give charity again. Because ultimately we don't receive a reward in this life. The reward we have for doing a mitzvah in this life is the opportunity to do another mitzvah. So this is so doing a sinful act will lead to committing more sins. So this is Netzach Tiferet. Beautiful acts not only last forever, but one leads to another, and they grow over time. So when you do a good deed, the positive energy it creates causes you to do another action for the greater good. This power is called koach. Koach haledah, and it comes from within your soul. So actually, koach is gematria 28. So 28 is yod dalet, that's 14, and yod. Yod means hand, right? So, and it's interesting because 28, well, you have 1, 2, 3 segments to your finger. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 12, 13, 14. Gematria 14. Okay. So, by choosing to do something, let's see. Yeah. The power is called, koach comes from within your soul. It is a special ability that God blessed us with to bring something into being, to birth something. So we've all seen how powerful one act of kindness can be. By choosing to do something good, we help the other person at hand and those connected to them in some shape or form. So every action, no matter how small, has the potential to create a ripple effect, spreading good energy and generosity far and wide. The power of creation is infinite, rooted in the eternal and immortal Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He. It is an ever-flowing source of true beauty that will never fade away. No matter who you are or where you come from, a mitzvah is everlasting. No one can take a good deed away from you, except if you regret the good that you have done, it goes away. You can cancel it out. So you can cancel out a negative thing that you've done. If you can substantially regret, something wrong that you've done, you have the ability to cancel it out. Same thing with the good that you do. You can cancel out the good that you do. You don't want to do that. You want to keep that to your benefit, but you can. So someone once put this deep truth beautifully. A sin can be divorced from but not a mitzvah. A mitzvah stands for eternity. This is true and everlasting beauty. So Netzach of Tiferet means that every good deed we do has a ripple effect and can start a chain reaction of kindness. So taking time to help someone may inspire them to, in turn, help someone else, creating an ever-growing cycle of compassion that reaches further than we can imagine. The Jewish notion of teshuvah is based on the principle that one can eliminate bad habits and turn a life of spiritual growth into a life of spiritual growth in righteousness. The Hasidic idea of Hadshut takes this concept even further, emphasizing that one can experience everlasting growth and rebirth through spiritual renewal. When you constantly do good deeds, you are birthing more good deeds, which can only grow and never shrink. This kind of beauty has a power that reaches beyond what meets the eye. This power is known as Netzach, an echo that reverberates through time, never fading away no matter how much time passes. And I mentioned this in another video. When we say words, the intensity, the sound of the words that we spoke, that amplitude decreases. But because it's a ripple effect, its sound just emanates out. Everything that we've said continues for eternity. It just decreases in intensity, but those waves that you send out through your mouth, those communications, they stick around for eternity. Okay, so this kind of beauty has a power that reaches beyond what meets the eye. This power is known as Netzach, an echo that reverberates through time, never fading away no matter how much time passes. The ripple effect can be seen in how it changes and grows over time. So King Shlomo says in Proverbs, truth and justice are the foundation of God's throne. So we already learned that Emet, truth, is Tiferet, beauty, right? So truth is true beauty, which is everlasting and stands firmly in this world. So King Shlomo understood that what we find beautiful will remain beautiful for eternity. He wasn't talking about material possessions such as cars, but something much more significant, our deeds and behaviors. So the Baal HaTanya states that we can come to this world for 80 years, but during that time, our purpose is to do one good deed for someone. So we may encounter them at any point in our journey just to perform one act of chesed or kindness. So in the beginning of the Torah, the Kadosh Baruch Hu commanded Adam and Eve, to be fruitful. So this not only refers to procreation, it refers to the idea that we must take the beauty and abilities that Hashem has given us and use them in order to bring fruitfulness into the world. So we are capable of doing this through our many actions. So we can find this same concept echoed in nature. As we observe the system of trees, we can see that they drop their fruit to the ground, where it decomposes and releases its seed. These seeds will then go into the ground, rot, and eventually a new tree, and even more fruit will grow. This cycle serves as an example of how our own actions should strive to bear fruit. So this is also evident with parents and children. Our actions as parents can have a lasting impact on our children. By acting in a certain way, we give our children an example to follow, and these examples are ingrained in their subconsciousness. So parents must set a good example for their children. When they lie or act untruthfully in front of them, they risk confusing their child and hurting them on a deep level. So lying can have a detrimental effect on the child's faith and beliefs. So it is important that parents show honesty in all aspects of parenting. So we sometimes tell our children small white lies, such as when someone is knocking at the door asking for charity, we act like we are not home. So this can completely confuse the 4-year-old because they know everyone is really home. So in our day-to-day life, there are a lot of actions that we do simply because we know that eyes are looking at us expecting a certain behavior. We carry those actions because we realize that the resulting good deeds will benefit everyone around us. So even if we don't really feel like doing them, good deeds can be anything. For one person, it could mean saving a life. For another, it could be feeding the hungry or giving emotional support to someone upset. So it doesn't matter. An act of kindness is an act of kindness. Where do we see that Tiferet, or beauty, is considered good in the eyes of the Torah? In Genesis, when God is creating the world, the Torah says, V'ya'ar Hashem kitov. When Hashem saw the light he had made, he saw that it was both good and beautiful. Practically speaking, to apply what we've learned, we need to acknowledge and understand the power of our good deeds. Don't underestimate the importance of small acts of kindness. Even something small like putting a quarter in a charity box or smiling at someone can have a big effect. To apply this knowledge, strive to fill your day with good deeds. One thing that I do is, like, anytime I get change in I go to the store Dollar General, something like that, and I pay with cash and I get change. I take the change, like the coinage, and that goes into tzedakah, right? To charity of some sort, right? So that's like the paya, the corner of your field that you leave for the poor or something, because there are certain mitzvot that don't have a distinct measure, and that's just a way that you can use that in your life, right? So have a certain area of your life where you designate, when this happens in my life, I give this to charity, or I give this away, or something like that. It could be all the pennies, it could be all the nickels, it could be all the dimes, it could be something like that, like any $5 bill, with a serial number 7 or something, you give it away. Those are just different things you can like train yourself, and like this is a thing that you do in your life, and this is consistent. So for me, it's just a complete consistent thing. If I'm given change back, it goes away. I don't keep it, except if I'm going to you go to the laundromat and you need quarters for the washing machine, you put in the thing, you know what I mean? But basically it's a principle that you live your life by, right? So a good rule of thumb is not to go to sleep until you've done 5 acts of kindness that day. So some might think that's a lot, but it doesn't need to be. In fact, we should strive to do 50 acts of kindness every day. And if you haven't done any yet, don't go to sleep until you've helped someone out. So any second, Mashiach could come, and we need Torah, mitzvot, and ma'asim tovim to get through the labor pains of Mashiach. So the Talmud says that if a person wants to survive in a time of war, they should learn Torah and do acts of kindness. So today, seek out acts of goodness and kindness. It could be writing a check, sitting with someone for 5 minutes, or even just smiling at someone who needs to feel acknowledged. So do it, because these acts of kindness will stand forever, and a little bit of light diminishes a lot of darkness. So if we want to make the world a better place and sweetly hasten the coming of Mashiach, the answer lies in Netzach of Tiferet. Increase your acts of kindness, mercy, and love. These deeds from the heart will endure forever.